4.
Soda! Soda! No way! Soda! Soda! Go on, attack me from. Take this! Like that? Go on. Ready? Go on. Whatever. Ready? Like that? Like that? Hold still. Ready? Like that? Ready? Like that? Ready? Soda! Soda! Hold still. Take this! Go on. Attack me from wherever you want.
FizzleSprocket. Everybody Loves Large Chests, Volume 2. Written by Neven Iliev. Narrated by Jeff Hayes. Prologue.
Alexa, stop. And that was... Wow, my voice sounds very raspy right now. I'm sorry. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the LitLounge. Last we left off, we were reviewing the first volume of Everybody Loves Large Chests by Neven Iliev. And that was what you just heard from the second book, was FizzleSprocket, Everybody Loves Large Chests Volume 2. Written by Neven Iliev. Narrated by Jeff Hayes. And also the Sound Booth Theater team. Hope everybody's having a good day, good night, wherever you are in the world. Hope everybody is feeling lavish and lounging about. And that's what we like to do at the LitLounge. We're lavish, we lay around, and we lounge about. Just give me a moment. I'm going to send out that I'm live. Alright, and that's the best I can do. I got some new followers on Twitter in the last week, so that's kind of nice. Sorry about the squeakiness of the chair. But like I said, today we'll be reviewing FizzleSprocket, Volume 2. Everybody Loves the Large Chest, written by Neven, Iliev, and narrated by Jeff Hayes. This time with music by the Sound Booth Theater team. I would credit them, and I should have, and this will be for next time, but I did not credit them. My bad. So unfortunately, I was not able to get those specific credits. I'll include it in the next episode, episode 4. And with that being said, though, what is FizzleSprocket? Well, FizzleSprocket, like the last book, has something to do with one of the characters. But I'll get to her later. So, same as usual. I'll be discussing the narration, the book itself, things I liked, things I didn't like, what I would rate the book on the tasty meter, and if this book would be a suggestion for you. If you like the first book, obviously the second book would be a book you'd get, possibly. But is it worth continuing reading after the second book? Because I can understand why people would be a little bit annoyed after the second book. Actually, I could see people being annoyed after the first book. But nonetheless, where did we leave off? We left off Boxy T. Morningwood, who is now being named Boxy T. Morningwood, because his name is Boxy T. Morningwood. I am now going to go over what he's been up to. You know, traveling, making his way downtown, you know, all that good stuff. Doodly 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 doodly. Anyway. Yeah. He's honestly just doing the same thing. Murdering people, gaining levels, and acquiring shiny and tasty things. But wait, there's more. He actually starts to talk with people and interact in towns and stuff. So you get that. You also get some things that are realized between Korra and Snack, or Korra and Zira, also known as Snack and Arms. Snack and Arms. We'll get to them. Well, when we talk about spoilers, we'll get to them. So, Jeff Hayes is narrating everything. Continues to do an amazing job. There's no qualms there. Let me go more into the Boxy T. Morningwood. Boxy T. Morningwood actually comes across an artificer, however you pronounce the word. They pronounce it artificer, named Corny FizzleSprocket, and she ends up teaching him. Because of his ability to blend in and look like a human being, he's actually able to communicate with her somewhat, thanks to Zira's training, and pretty much live in society for the most part. It's not the best of times, but it's not the worst of times either. He's actually gained artificer jobs, and things are looking up for him, honestly. Until a certain character named Edward shows up. We will be getting to Edward. I cannot talk much about Edward because he's kind of a spoilery character, and it's hard to honestly talk about books without. It's not like anime where it's like episode 12 they show up or something like that. Nah, it's a little bit more difficult, but I will try. You meet Edward and Zone, and I'll be going over those two as well. You have Corny FizzleSprocket herself. These are the characters. Boxy, Zira, and Arms. As well as Carl and a brand new character named Bob. He is a spoiler warning just talking about the character, because just his name alone is a spoiler. I will talk about him I'll talk as lightly as possible about Bob. So, there's other characters that he meets, but they are relevant because they're on the murder spree list. So, let's talk about the characters, and what I liked about the characters, and what I didn't like about their writing. FizzleSprocket. Corny FizzleSprocket. Corny FizzleSprocket is a gnome who looks like she's about 8 years old, but is actually in her mid to late 20s. She's an artificer. She's good with lightning-based and electronical equipment. She's a mentor as well. She's the one who teaches Boxy. Unbeknownst to her, she doesn't know she's teaching a monster. But she goes ahead and teaches a monster. And many times does she find out he's a monster, but Zira coming in with her Dreamweaver skill, trying to, rectify the situation. Yeah, there's that. Oh, and small spoiler warning, but Zira, it's not a big one. It happens in the first hour of the book, which is the equivalent of the first 2 episodes of the anime. If there was an anime, which this would be hilarious to see as an anime. You find out that fiends are into, rap with an E. Grape, if you will. Into grape, remove the G. You see? You fool? Anyway. Fiends are into grape. And, you find this out. Fiends have penises. Yeah, fiends have penises. Yeah. That's one thing, and they, cause Korra gets a dangling, and he's like, what the flip? What? No, there should be no dangling. It should all be, I asked for a female. And that's when Carl shows up, and Carl's like, oh, Boxy. Carl is pretty much like Boxy. You can't, I would love to do his gravelly voice, like, it kind of reminds me of, Jeff Goldblum? Not Jeff Goldblum. Oh my gosh. Joe DiMaggio. There we go. John DiMaggio? Bender's voice actor. Whenever he plays Scruffy. Kind of sounds like Scruffy. But not really Scruffy. Anywho, Carl shows up or gets called and explains, yes, fiends have penises. In fact, grape is one of their pastimes. If they want to grape you, they like you! As much as I can go into that. Also, Boxy asking if a grape is tasty was freaking hilarious, because Carl's response was, I'm not obligated to give a response on whether, contractually obligated on whether or not the grape is tasty or not. That was a funny moment. Things I liked about it. It improved on Boxy. Boxy actually had a purpose. It wasn't just, hey, I'm gonna murder things. I mean, yes, he still murdered things and stole shinies. He still murdered, brought mayhem, and collected shinies. But he also actually had a goal. He wanted to learn how to become an artificer. It'll raise his intelligence, because he wants to get smarter. He wants to evolve. He wants to gain levels. And for the most part, he accomplishes that. I like that Boxy isn't a Mary Sue in this book. It shows that Boxy isn't all-powerful, and that his shit can get rocked, which it did. I also enjoyed the addition of Edward the Spy Master and Zone. Zone we don't know barely anything about at this point, except she thinks Boxy's cute, and she was pivotal in the last 3 or 4 chapters of the entire story, or the entire book. Boxy tried to hold her hostage. She was so strong that Boxy couldn't even move her. Zone did think it was trying to Zone did think it was trying to give her a hug, which Edward was like, no, Zone, are you stupid? Edward is a formidable foe, and kind of the main antagonist of this entire book now. The entire series, it seems like it's gearing up to more or less take down Edward and his affiliates. and associates. Boxy really get his shite wrecked. So much that he was captured, imprisoned. Snack and Arms are still the same. I still like them. Carl is probably one of my favorite characters, but my favorite character of all is Bob. Bob is my favorite. Things I didn't like, I guess it reads kind of like a light novel. This guy that was writing this was definitely going for a light novel feel, and it definitely feels like a light novel. So that's one of my only complaints. It's a long story. It's about 10.5 hours long if you're listening to the audio narration, which is still very good. You get a lot of content from Boxy learning how to talk, and Boxy more or less learning how to commingle with society, becoming a mercenary, and it's got progression. What do I think of corny FizzleSprocket as a character? Well, I think she's a very disturbed individual, and honestly, if I were to see a character like that in real life with the dangers she went to, I am not surprised she went down the road she did. It was, yeah. And corny FizzleSprocket is a main character. She has relevance. She's not just there for one book and then gone the next. No, she is there. Stuff happens to Boxy. There's turmoil. There is panic. Boxy almost dies. It's actually kind of crazy. What would I rate this book? I would say it is quite nice and tasty. Nice and tasty. Not tasty, but nice and tasty. So it's like one level below tasty. I don't think a book will get to the shiny anytime soon, but it's pretty tasty. Which is like a 7 or an 8. 7.58 out of 10. Would I recommend you? Is it worth it to go read it after the first book? If you didn't like the first book, you won't like the second book. If you like the first book and wanting to know if it's worth it, the second book does progress the story, and it doesn't just stop. It feels like it's still going, and it opens up to new chapters. I'm going to talk about spoilers, so if you don't want to listen to this, I'm going to be talking about Bob and who he is. Alright, I'm going to give 5 seconds, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to get out of here. Alright? Bob is the god of chaos. Bob he loves chaos and probability. In the world, no one can say his name. They even try, and it's like, Tammy, Amy, Ginny. I can't, what the fuck? Yeah, like, and every time he blinks, it's like an actual mimic from our world. He can, every time you blink, he changes his shape. And it's absurdities, the most random of things, like a lobster with 2 maracas for feelers. Like, he is randomness incarnated, and he is my favorite character. He is wonderful. He is fantastic. I wish that Bob gave I wish Boxy, oh my gosh, words. I wish Bob gave more. I wish there was more of Bob we know, because we barely know, up to book 10, or book 9, we still know little about Bob. He's the god of chaos, randomness, probability, and he's got about 567 followers. Good for him, I guess. Anyway, that's it for the spoiler section, so anybody who's still listening can be like, yeah, I can come back with only a minute or two. Not much characters in this one that I can go over because we don't know much. In the next one, it'll have more characters. Fortuna. That is the next one on the docket. I'm thinking after Fortuna, I'm going to take a little bit of a break from the Boxy show. This has more or less become the Boxy show. And though I love Boxy, he's a fun little mimic. I'm gonna limit to what I do in like long-running series,
Whatever.
depending on how long the series is, how long the books are themselves. The next book, I think I'm gonna throw in a one-shot. Yeah, I think I'm gonna throw in a one-shot and talk about possibly, I don't know. I've got a few books to think of. I'm in the middle of a giant project with the LitLounge. The whole reason this thing was created in the first place. I'm going to be doing something with that. And Annabelle Hawthorne fans, if you're listening to this at all, take note, because your books, you'll get their day. But they have to be the 18 plus LitLounge, where things get a little bit wet and lubricated. But besides that, I think that'll be it. I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to probably do... Yeah, I'll do a one-shot of Dungeon Crawler Carl. To episode 8, because episode 8 just came out. I'll talk about that. Not as long. Maybe... Oh, actually, no. I might need to talk... Yeah, I need to talk about episode 7 and 8. I didn't talk about my entire feeling on Dungeon Crawler Carl Book 1. I also... And how I feel about the series and the audio immersion and everything. So yeah, I'll finish up that series with the LitLounge, and then possibly after that, go on to the next one. Because this is going to be a seasonal thing, and season 1, I've already got my big wrap-up plans. Season 1 is going to end with something spicy. Something very spicy. And then season 2, because season 1, I want to go with a theme. I want to try and go with a theme for the most part. You're going to see nothing but books narrated by the Sound Booth Theater team. Maybe a one-shot here or there, but for the most part, it's going to be the Sound Booth Theater team. And then I will be doing books by mainly Annabelle Hawthorne. So that maybe gives you a hint of what the season finale might be. But until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the LitLounge. And if you have, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with your friends. Get the word out that audiobooks are great, and that you can get a fun listen out of them. Whether you're into game lit, romance, or whatever they may be, audiobooks is an avenue that a lot of people don't think of.
Already?
What do you mean already? Hold on. What do you mean already? Bro, it's been like, I don't know. It's hard to go over. I mean, I guess I could go over the housekeeping. Hold on, let me see.
I just tuned in.
Wow, that's funny. Oh, hello, John, James Spider. Hello, Mr. Moderator. Anybody who's watching this, say hello to JM in the comments, everybody. Give a round of applause for JM, moderator, cool guy. Kind of a douche sometimes, but you know. We need to really catch up and watch some FMA sometime, my brother.
Hello,
also,
Chad.
I am not Chad. I am Brad. Get it right. I know what you're referencing as well. I even have Jury on display. I thought you would like that. She's all about the feet, JM. I thought you were I thought you were into that. I guess to go over a TLDR summary of what I thought of the book. The book was good. It has some small minor adjustments needed. The characters were fine. I enjoyed the stakes. They're high. Kinda like I am. If you have a couple of credits to burn, or a credit to burn on Audible, or if you want to just buy them, go to the Sound Booth Theater team, go to the Sound Booth Theater app. They might have them on there. I'm not 100% sure. I think their side story, Everybody Loves, or their side story, Small Chests Are Fine 2 is only available there. If you're going to listen to the series, do not read that before you read book up to book 6. Yes. 6? 5. Morgana, Teresa, Mortimer. Yeah, book 7. book 7. Don't read Small Chester Fine 2 until you get to book 7. Right before book 7, read Small Chester Fine 2. And to give you an idea of the names and how they're structured, the first one was Morningwood, the second one FizzleSprocket, the next one's going to be Fortuna, the fourth one Teresa, Teresa, Morgana, the fifth one Teresa, sixth one Mortimer, seventh one Goroth, Goroth, eighth will be Stained, 9 will be Jackson, and that is currently what we're up to in the audiobooks. I will say there will be much more of a delay between the longer audiobooks because Jackson is going on around 24 hours. It is a 24-hour book, and I would not like to rush through it because a lot of stuff happens. In fact, some stuff I don't even remember because it was so not important. So yeah, guys, go out and Audible, go to Audible, support the Sound Booth Theater team, go to their app, support them. And like I said, leave a like, comment, and a subscribe. That would be really nice. Anyway, guys, now that JM's gone, he stayed for a second then left, douche. I'm gonna end the LitLounge. Sorry, it's closed, guys. Not open for another week or so. And until then, I hope you enjoyed everything we've had to offer at the LitLounge. That while you were here, you lounged about, you relaxed, you lounged about, and you lived life, and you continue to live life lavishly. I'm still working on a catchphrase, Brettas. Until the next time, guys, the LitLounge is closed for business, The LitLounge is closed for now. So, please come back again. We'll be open again soon, very, very shortly. And until next time, guys, I'm Brad from the Otaku Paradise, the owner of the LitLounge. Till next time, see ya. Bye.